Hello, this is John, Fish Fisherman. And if I still sound stuffed up, I still am. A week later, I'm still fighting this cold. But I got this in through the week. It's a Saros 3000 Shimano. It is missing this cap, which I found when I got it on order. 6-ball bearing reel. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's got a skip in it. The same place every time. So I think it's in the crank. I may not be able to save it. I may have ordered a cap, a $10 cap for no reason, but you see it even stops right there every time. So let's see if we can fix it. I'm going to get this line off. Be right back. All right, I'm back. That was a mess. Let's get some heat on down here. It is cold in this garage. What is going on with this reel? This is a reel I would use if I can get it fixed. I'd probably swap it out for some of my cheaper Shimanos I have. I don't think this is a very cheap Shimano. It's a 6-ball bearing reel is not going to be cheap at the store. If it is, it's not worth it. Let's get the drag apart. If nothing else, I'll excuse me, I'm really choked up with this cold. And it's snowing again in Virginia. It's been a winter. Yeah, it came in with the handle off of it, so I'm not sure what was going on with that. That happens from time to time, I guess for shipping maybe. I did not see the cap in the box I looked for. It looks like it's been off for a long time. I did find one relatively cheap. When I say cheap, $10 ain't cheap, but not horrible. The handle can be taken apart and cleaned a little better, so let's go ahead and just do that because it's pretty nasty. But this might be one of those reels I just have to sell piece by piece if it can't be fixed. I'm not going to sink a ton of money into it, maybe one gear or something, but it's a nice reel, and I've sunk a lot more money into reels not even as nice, but yeah, it's got a... So on this style fastener, I've got the tool for it here somewhere. I actually thought I had it sitting right here. I do. You could use it on that, but I'll use it on my socket ratchet wrench here. Takes a little 2-prong screwdriver looking thing. I think it'll go in there. We'll see. If no, it's not going to fit it. It's too small. Well, that's fun. Let's put that back. I know I'll need the 10mm here in just a minute, so I'll go ahead and put that back on there. Oh, come on. My hands are cold. There we go. We'll just go put a regular screwdriver on. Maybe I can get a hold of it just enough. Yeah, just enough to back that off. I can feel there's a lot of gunk in there, and I think there's a couple bearings in this handle too. Appears to just be a bushing. We'll clean that up good. This reel has to come apart to get it apart. Someone used this reel quite a bit and enjoyed it. I can tell you, it has been used. Sometimes getting these little washers off can be as big a problem as anything. They don't want to slide. They're a tight fit for a reason. You have to remove this line out clicker cog. I don't know what they call it. Still really choked up this morning. Woke up to another 3 inches of snow. It's fun. There we go. Then we'll take that screw out. I've got every screwdriver on the bench out here now, so that's good. That locks your... And that's probably not a 10 millimeter. That's probably a 12. Yep, that's a 12. See, it's just slightly bigger. I don't have a 12 socket on, so we'll just do this right here. And you pull your rotor off, hopefully. Yeah. And here's what I love about Shimano. That anti-reverse is all one unit. You won't get that with cheaper reels. This is a good little reel. I hope I can fix it. Got to take this heel plate off first. One screw right here. Just wiggle it out. Don't just go ripping. It's going to break if you do that. You've got screw here, and a screw over here. Let's take this one out first. I'm getting back to just doing one reel a week, maybe two. If this reel doesn't need parts, I'll finish it tomorrow morning on Sunday. And it's got a little metal piece there. Keep that with that screw so you remember where it goes. I'll finish it tomorrow and put some line on it and find a rod for it. Otherwise, I'm just going to try to do one reel a week. There for a while, I was trying to do 3 or 4 reels a week, and it was getting a bit much. Juggling that many reels and needing parts for some of them, it was a bit much. We'll keep all the cover screws together. Now, I say cover screws. This side's going to come off. Well, this side comes off. All the gears are going to be mated to this side. Shimano does things outside of the box. Now, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can get it to come apart for us. I may still be missing something here. There we go. Oh, and there is your housing. I told you. That's loose. That's not good. That could be what's hitting it. If that screw is catching that gear because of how loose it is, that's going to be a whole problem with this reel. That's a good find, I feel like. If all the teeth, if it's not a snaggle tooth, we're good. I like this reel because it's instant anti-reverse. That's a good thing. You notice I set my parts out as I take them apart. So I use the camera and I'll go back. Excuse me, I'm all choked up. Before I put the reel back together, and I'll look at it and make sure I've got the parts kind of with each other like they're supposed to be. And okay, that's what the problem was. Okay, so if you look at that gear there, it's got some wear to it. Right on the edge of the teeth is where it was hitting that screw. That's exactly where the problem was, this reel. That's some kind of a composite gear. That's kind of odd. Never seen that on a Shimano before. That gear is on there pretty, or that bearing is on there pretty good. I'd like to remove it because I want to clean the gear. Yeah. A little bit of Kroll oil in an old Lucas oil container. Get that gear slipping back and forth good. Should come right off of there now. Yep, there it is. You're going to have shims with that, okay? So that bearing and these shims are a match for the handle. It's just got a little bit of wear. I'm probably going to take a file to it and clean those teeth up a little bit. But that's where the problem was. It was hitting that screw. This little needle, this little post slides out. And then your crosswind comes out. And of course, there was a screw there for that. So those three pieces go together. On some Shimanos, this gear is actually square. I don't know how they do it or what mastermind came up with that. But somehow or another it works. They put a square gear here and it goes against an oval-shaped gear and it works. And you have to get them timed just right. This is not one of those reels. This reel will go back together just fine. You got a little idler gear in here. A lot like the last Shimano I did. I can't remember which one it was. And then you got another bearing which is covered in gunk. Let's try to get that off of there without squeezing it into the bearing. Yeah, so you northern folks that listen or watch, y'all probably don't get much. Y'all probably aren't used to a winter that doesn't have a lot of snow. We're the opposite in Virginia. We don't get a lot of snow. Big adjustment for us here the last few weeks. On this, I see a little excessive wear right there. That's kind of odd. But on this anti-reverse cartridge, the black screw holds the cartridge together. Don't take that one out. Just take the three, and they're offset just a little bit where you can't put this back on wrong. Just take those three silver screws out. They're Phillips head. You can clean this cartridge and lightly oil it without even taking it apart. You wouldn't need to take this apart unless that's where the issue is with the reel. I would suggest, I've had them apart, I would suggest if this is the problem with your reel, just order another one and put it on your reel. I'm going to clean it just like it is. This is the inner. Well, you've got some shims here first of all. But this is the inner sleeve to that. And it goes in with the step, the biggest part of it up. You can pull your pinion out and you have a bearing there. All three bearings so far have been the same. You have a screw here, and that is an oil screw. You can oil and grease this reel without ever taking it apart. Nice. Very, very nice. You can just shoot some grease up in there right on the pinion gear, and that will spread it all over the, and this reel was rather dry. So, and I said this is a composite gear, but obviously I'm wrong because you can see the silver shining through that anodize or coating. So it's a metal gear. Just never seen one like that, honestly. But there's your screw that you can take out and shoot grease in on the pinion gear. That's awesome. I like that. Me and this reel like each other already. I'm going to fix it. It's going to serve me well over the years. Everything seems to be in order here. I'm going to take it completely apart so we can clean it. Just pay attention. On this roller, you're going to have several small parts up in here. As always, I keep all the rotor stuff right here. This one's got like a pin that goes through the roller, so let's see what it looks like. This is different. It's funny how Shimano does things different from one model to the next. It's like they have their own separate engineering teams for each reel. You know, it's like we're going to do it completely different today. You got a little step piece in there. You do have a small bearing. You got a pin with like a bushing on it. The roller went in like this. There's a little plastic spacer on that side. This pushes through. This is like a bearing race, I guess, that's the actual roller. And then the bearings up inside. And then this went in like this. So keep that in mind. And there is your bearing. And it's looking a little toasty, unfortunately. No, it's fine. It's really dark looking. I'm not going to run that in the parts washer, right? Keep it clean, separate. And then that screw just comes right out. And then over here, this is a dummy side of this reel. You're just going to take the screw out of it. That's it on that. You can take this cover off if you want to. It won't hurt a thing. You can get it clean. It's got a lot of gunk down there. Everything comes off the water. All your scum on top of the water, it all gets gathered up on the rotor. So you clean it as good as you can. It throws the reel out of balance. You look, see what I'm talking about? That's got like critters in it. I don't know what that is. Then we're going to come over here to the side that has all the live action to it. I'm going to take this cover off first. Live action. That's not like a Turtle Man. Remember the Turtle Man? Whatever happened to him? He was funny. I know a couple of the guys on this show passed away unexpectedly, and he just kind of lost the drive to film because it were the guys that were helping him film, actually. And I don't think he ever really kept up with it anymore. It's pretty good, pretty cool dude. I liked him. He was funny as hell. That was back in the 90s, or no, it was back in the mid to late 2000s when all those reality shows were hitting. When you take this out, parts are going to fly. Go slow. All right. So you got your bail arm. You got spring and the pin that goes into the bail arm. This is like a little bushing that sits in right back here. You've got your trip arm. You got that is probably just a little shim. I don't think it comes off. That may come out. Yep, it does. And it's got a spring under it. So you got a little white Delrin piece there. And there's a spring underneath that. This is where Shimano always gets complicated. These are shims, I think. I'm going to take something and try to take something with a little bit of an edge to it and see if they pop out. Yep, they do. See that little bitty shim? There's one there. And there's one there. You don't want to lose those. And I think that's the entire reel, folks. I'll get this Palladian Gear Durability Enhancement. Folks, y'all tell me something about this reel. You Shimano connoisseurs, y'all probably know more about them than I do. It's a propulsion line management system. That's a pretty cool little reel, not gonna lie. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's very high quality. A lot of work, a lot of thought went into it. It's not just your standard run-of-the-mill reel design. So I think I've got a couple Shimano reels I'm getting ready to put to pasture, so to speak, or sell at the next big flea market. And I might replace one of those with this one. Nothing wrong with them. I like my Shimanos. I really like the instant anti-reverse Shimanos. But just for reference, and I can tell you right now, this reel's been sprayed down with Real Magic. I may not be able to fix it. This has that quick fire. This is a syncopate, which was a great reel back in the day. But it's got that one stop. And this is great for, I like this for, when I was fishing tournaments, I like the quick fire for my search bait rod, my search rod, or whatever I was running my search bait on, like a Super Fluke or a Rooster Tail spinner is a great search bait, or spinner bait, or a floating worm, skipping up under docks where you're rapid fire and skip, wiggle it a couple times, wiggle it till it gets outside the pylons, pull it back real quick, fire up into another place. I call it dock shooting. These type of reels are great for that. But for crankbaits, stuff like that, I like a reel that has a instant anti-reverse. If I'm working a bottom, which you don't do a lot in bass fishing with a spinning reel, except for with jigs, but if I was working bottom, I want an instant anti-reverse because I'm watching that line and I'm feeling, and as soon as it starts to change, I'm pulling line quick and I want to set right into it. I want to give it a good set. So they have two different purposes, and I would have a whole other rod set up for it. And looking at this, I don't even know if I can fix this reel, but because this Real Magic stuff is, I don't know if you've seen it. It's like in a bluish can, and people, they say, well, spray it all over your reel, it'll save your fishing reel. It does this to it. It turns it this weird color. I don't know if I can fix that reel. We'll do it. That might be my next video. But I'm just saying, just showing the difference in the anti-reverse systems. I like this instant anti-reverse. Hands down better for anything than I do the one that has a one-tooth anti-reverse. I just don't care for that. So let me get this cleaned up and come back, and we're going to have a really nice little reel to play around with. And I want to say this too, this gear with the special coating, it will not go into ultrasonic, because I don't know what this coating will do in the ultrasonic. It might eat it off of there, and then you're going to have a junk reel. So Ultrasonic is great, but you've got to be careful with it. It will do things to you, to your reel that you might not want done. So it's great for cleaning this grunge off these handles and up out of the handles. Yeah, it's perfect for that. I recommend, I'm going a little more in depth on this video than I do because I'm going to take a little more time. I use these coffee filters. You buy these at the grocery store, and I'll put this handle in there, and if something falls out of that, because the ultrasonic will wiggle things loose, the noise, the sound waves will, I don't lose the parts. This is a really fine mesh, and it cleans really well, and they're cheap. I mean, they're like, what, $2 or $3, maybe even less at Dollar General. You know, it's just like for this, I'll put this down in one of them. If something was to pop out of there, I've got an ice cube's chance of fixing. If I put it in the tank and just laying on the screen in there and something pops out, I may not ever find that part again, because at the bottom of the ultrasonic, even though I clean it every 2 or 3 weeks, it's got that much sludge in the bottom of it, you know. So gotta be careful with those things. But anyway, let me get this thing cleaned up, and I've been talking a lot more than I normally do. I'll be right back. We'll take a look at a really nice reel when I get done with it. Hello, I'm back on this. Oh heck, what was it? Saros, Shimano Saros 3000F. It sure doesn't look like a 3000 size reel, but it looks more like a 2000 or a 2500. But it's in great shape. Yeah, I found the little problem with the gear. I'm going to fix that in just a second. Still cleaning dirt out of it. I was going to wait till tomorrow to put this reel together, but I'm excited that I found the problem with it. And that excitement leads me to wanting to fix it. So, just going to clean things up a little bit. Okay, so what we found with this, those 3 teeth right there were rubbing the screw that was loose on the crosswind. So that has to be repaired. We'll find the appropriate file here. You want a file that is almost like a knife edge. That would be a tooth file right there. I don't know if you can see, it's got a knife edge on both sides. And I've had those files since I was a kid. And we're just going to clean the edges up of those teeth where they might have got knocked around a little bit by rubbing up against that screw. You know, they were hitting that screw every time they went by it. I got the little burr off. I think that's good. I think that's all it needs. That should get us back to spinning there. Where do we start? It's a pretty busy reel. I'm still kind of seeing, let me just kind of go over things as I start the assembly here. You know, I like to say, I hope that the person who used to own this reel sees this video, because they loved this reel. They fished with this reel. The man or woman that owned this reel was a fisherman. This was not a reel that just rode around in the car did nothing. This reel actually did work. And that's pretty damn cool if you ask me. Like I do on most Shimanos, I want to do super lube here. I can't put it in real precisely, so I end up usually using too much. But that's okay. First thing in is going to be the rod, the bell return rod. We'll get some grease on that and put it in there. And then you've got spring that goes down in there. There's a little plastic tip that goes into that. It just rides in there. You got these little bitty brass shims that go right here. And if I can get it to stick to my finger, right there. This plastic piece goes on there and it keeps that rod engaged correctly. We're going to put the spring, we'll seat the spring last. The spring has a tapered end. That's what goes up into the push rod. So, and the push rod's got a little bend to it on purpose because this spring stays bent almost all the time. So you're going to just kind of put this in here like this for now. Whoops. See if I can get that correct. And I just knocked that little brass piece off, so I got to put that back. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff you deal with, but it'll be all right. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, we'll take the spring back out for a minute. We'll take the rod back out for a minute. And we'll see if this sit there. Probably not. And if you notice, the rod will only go back into this hole. So we're going to put it in there, we'll put a little bit of grease on it to hold it in place. It'll go in that hole like that. We're going to get a little bit of grease down in here. One of these days I'm going to find super lube in a much more manageable situation. I can only find it in the tubes like this and in the grease canisters. I don't know why I can't find it any other way. All right. This rod. Rod's going to keep flipping around on me for no reason. This rod has to go to the inside of the, or does it? No. I'll get it here in just a second, folks. I believe it goes just like that. I'm going to go ahead and put the screw in there. See how nice and shiny everything comes out? Love that part of fixing reels. Now we got to seat this spring. It goes in a little bit of an aggravation. I'm sure they got like fixtures at the factory that they can put all this together with, but we don't have that luxury, do we? We just have to kind of make it work. If this spring comes flying out of here, it's going to be a bad day. So pray for me. And once you get that like that, we can make sure that that little shim is back in its place. And we're going to put that cover back on. This cover here. And it takes one screw, which I do believe is this one. We make sure we got all the little parts in the right places here. Well, I believe everything's in there. These reels, the higher the price goes on Shimano, the more complicated the reels are. Okay? Just is what it is. Okay? I want to say that shim, no, that wasn't there. It must have gone on the roller. I'm already confused. I know this goes on the roller. Oh, boy. No play there. Where is there? Okay, well, let's put this side on. Put a little bit of grease on here. A little bit. You see what I mean? It's really hard to... I end up wasting a lot of the grease. And then it gets the screw here. And there was no bushing on this side that I remember. The way to check to see if there should be bushing is if it's got a lot of excessive play in it. And then, of course, we got a cover that goes over here. There's two screws in it. You got this one. And this tiny one back here on the back. Now we get into the complicated stuff. The roller, you got a short side and a long, short side, a long side. Long side goes towards the bell wire. This went in. And then the bearing, which I've already lubricated. And then it had this plastic piece on the other side. This post goes in from the back side, which is really weird and unusual for and I want to say this went in like this, and this went in like this, and then you had, and that is incorrect, this piece would go in up here. So we're going to give this all a little bit of oil here. And then your line roller goes with the plastic bushing, the neoprene or clear nylon goes in like that. And then you got your post on this side, or that's not going in there right. Why is it not going in there right? Would it go like this? Nope. Something's off. Something is off. Don't know where I've gone wrong here. I may have to stop the video and go back and look at the footage, because that should be flush right there. It's not. So this is me thinking out loud and going insane at the same time. Let's see here. I know this bushing goes here. I know this went back here, and I know, I feel like I got it right, folks. I feel like it's correct. Why is it not spacing correctly? I feel like that's correct. That's not even correct there. Well, maybe I got this turned around backwards. Let's try that. Maybe I got the roller backwards. There, that's what it was. The roller was backwards. Okay. And then the screw goes in there. So I had the roller turned around backwards. I had it together correctly, just flipped around backwards. So, and once you get this tight, it should turn. You shouldn't even have to use any effort. You should be able to spin that thing with just nothing, you know? So that's correct. Feels good. That's complicated. Oh, I tell you, the things we do to have fun in life. Fix fishing reels. Okay. Get your pinion bearing. It's been lubricated. We're going to give the pinion a pretty good coat of grease. Go ahead and push it in. Okay. Oh, another question. I can't remember if the shims went. I think they went out here on the end of this. Or did they? I know that this went in like that. So this goes, and it's pegged, folks. So don't get too nervous. It's only going to go one way. I'm going to give this some light oil. I don't know if Shimano puts grease on them or not. I don't normally. And the pin from the anti-reverse on-off switch goes up into that slot on that silver piece. So you go basically like that. And put your 3 screws in. Your 3 screws go into the holes that are dimpled. Like that. Love that setup. Just so much better than Ambassador, the Black Max, or whatever their high-end reel spinning reels are now. And I just like this so much better. Now what I got to figure out is, I'm pretty sure they go out here on the outside edge. That will go in. That's your inner sleeve. I think these go right out here like that. And then the rotor will go on last. These two parts retain the rotor, okay? And that's your screw to fill in the oiling hole. All right. Next thing in is your bearing on the wrong hand side. Yeah. So then we got grease it up good. You got this gear sits in with the small gear up. This gear sets in just like that. Those two engage, so you're gonna have to put a little bit of grease in there, and it'll get spread around. Your crosswide. I know I'm getting really boring here, and I apologize, but I'm taking my time, make sure I get this right. We'll set in. It goes on top of that. Just make sure I didn't leave a bushing out or something. Okay. Because that does seem odd looking. I don't know why. Why does it seem odd looking? It is odd looking. It's got some kind of weird timing to it. This pin goes in and goes through the crosswind. This is a guide pin and rests into that hole at the other side of the case. We'll put a little bit of grease down in there. Now we can put the gear in. Grease it up good. And it just sits right in there. And we're gonna try to move this thing a little bit here, if it will move. And just make sure it works correctly. Just watch it go all the way around. It walked that pin, but that's okay. Put it back. All right. There we are. We can go ahead and put the shaft in, the axle shaft. Put it in there just a little bit, and I give it just a little bit of this heavier gear oil. Slide it in. It just slides into that and into the back of it, and it takes the screw that caused the whole problem. Make sure you get this thing tight. A little bit of blue Loctite wouldn't hurt it, but the problem is there's so much grease in this case right now. Blue Loctite's not going to do anything. So, Get that in there really good. Like I said, I'm going to tighten it really tight. It was sticking up a good ways out of there, so. Okay, so far we're good. We'll play with it here as we go to make sure it doesn't hit it again. Okay. I think we're good there. It gets these two shims right here. And this bearing. And we're ready for the other side of the case. So this slides over there like that. And you got two screws here. Now I'm trying to remember what that screw, oh, that went, where did that one go? Did it go in there? I guess it went in down here at the bottom to hold the, no, I've got that one over there. Okay, well, I got an extra screw. You want to freak out a fishing reel guy? Leave an extra screw in here. Let's take it back apart and make sure we got everything. Ah, you rascal. All right. I don't recall a screw holding any gears in down there. Yeah. This is a complicated one. And I want it right. I want it really right. I know where these three go. The handle needs to be put together. There's a screw that goes in the bottom of this, which is that. No, that's not correct. It is one of these. It's that one. Okay, we know where it's at now. All right. Never mind my madness. But that will drive you insane when you get an extra screw out of a fish. There's not that many screws in fishing reels, so you got to get it right, folks. Actually, the one with the machine threads goes right there. So I see the machine threads now. If I saw that a minute ago, I'd have been all right. I hope it works good. Pretty sure I found the problem with it. Someone gave up on this reel because of that. They said, well, it's time to put it to pasture, right? And so they basically said it was time and gave it away. And my opinion is it wasn't time yet. That little metal piece goes right there. No, it doesn't. It goes right there. And it holds that pin in for the guide pin on the crosswind block. There, holds that guide pin in. Then we can take this and it just kind of, I do believe it is missing a little clip off of it, but well, no, it's there. That goes in just like that. That wasn't supposed to happen, folks. I'll fix it though. And then you put this screw in. Okay, now We'll put this back in there to decide it didn't want to be there any longer. I want to say, actually, I may regret this, but I want to say these go down in there first. We'll see here. And then this goes in. Yes, that's right, because it lines up with the rollers better, so I'm correct on that. We can go ahead and let's get a little bit of grease on that. That right there. And that little bit of extra grease, just kind of rub it around that O-ring. I did not take that O-ring off. It doesn't need to come off. And then we can put the rotor on. The rotor nut, which is right-hand thread. And it looks to be a 12 millimeter or 13 millimeter for reference. I used a adjustable wrench to take it off with. Just tighten that up. Don't over tighten it. Doesn't need to be over tightened. About right there. And then this little bitty screw will go in right there. Just kind of stick it in place and then take your screwdriver and finish it off. All right. Now, oh boy, she's going to be smooth, I think. We don't need to put any oil in it. We just oiled it, but that is your means of accessing without taking this whole reel apart. And the way I take care of my reels, I'll never have to take this reel apart again unless something breaks. Yes, I do plan on keeping this reel. 3,000 is a little bit on the big side for what I do fishing wise. I use a 2,000 for bass. I still hear a little noise in it. Yeah, we'll try. Okay, this thing fell all apart trying to clean it. This bushing goes right there, and it did have a bearing in it with a shim, but let's go ahead and put the handle on here. And then it got a shim. You'll have to work that in place with something small. And a bearing. You'll have to also work that in place. It's not wanting to cooperate. There it goes. And give it just a drop of oil before you finalize that. And then it took this little nut that will only go one way. Okay, let go of me. Yeah, we'll see if we can get that nut to get started on there. Yeah, there it goes. Just run that down as far as you can. Tight. And then the trim piece, which got 2 small screws in it. Oh, everything went flying. Well, that screw just don't want to go back in there. Okay. Oh, for Pete's sake. All right. Get in there. There we go. Now, I don't have the cap in yet. It's supposed to arrive today. So, what that means is I'm going to try it out without the cap. I haven't put line on the reel yet, of course. The first thing is to make sure it cranks good, right? Still got just a little bit of a knock in it. That's from those teeth being messed up. That'll wear in. It's not affecting the reel. It just takes some of that quietness out of it, but that's going to get better. That's just going to get better and better with time. First time you struggle a big bass in with that, it'll smooth it right out. Okay? Fun stuff. Then you got, that's so much better than it was, folks. Trust me. It couldn't really convey on the camera how bad it was. That little plastic piece goes on. You get 2 of those. These also space the spool out as far as how your line will spool on here. If it's too far out, it'll spool in with like this. If it's too far in, it'll spool like that. So you can adjust that by adjusting with those shims. They do that at the factory, so just leave it alone. All right, we're going to cowls these drag washers. Shimano uses grease on their drag washers. They use that, but I'm going to use cowls. It's same effect, I guess I should say. It's not the same stuff. And you get a keyed washer, right? And then another. These felt washers, the middle one's really dry. And it's stuck. And so I'll just get some on both sides of it and just rub it in good. And put it down in there. And then, okay, we got the eared washer goes in next. It's got a little something on it there. It moved on me. There we go. There. Well, get in there. There we go. And then your last felt washer. Put that in. And your final metal washer. And you've got this clip that goes down in there. My hands are getting pretty greasy, so time to clean them up. I don't use a glove. I use gloves at work. You'll be proud to hear, but working on fishing reels, parts are too small. Can't do that. And that just goes in there like that. We'll wipe off any excess stuff on this reel, on the spool, because you don't want a lot of oil underneath your line. I do not use braid, so no problem there. We're going to give this just a drop right there. Close that up. And this has got a really cool seal on it to keep dirt stuff out of that drag. That's why that drag was still so clean. You got to wash the drag. This reel has some nice features to it, some high-end features. It's a shame it's still got just a little bit of a knock to it, but it'll be okay. It's going to break you. It's going to wear in, not wear out. That's what I'm trying to get at. Man, I tell you, it's so much better than it was. Wow. Wow. That's all I got. Saros 3000F. Caps on the way. 6 bearing reel. That's not even including the anti-reverse bearing. It cuts off. The reel, when I got it in, it was locked up, and I wish I could have took a video of that when I first pulled it out of the box. I had to turn the rotor to get it freed up, so I think that gear was stuck on that screw back there. So there it is. I'm real proud of that one, folks. Going to fish with that. This is John, Vintage Fisherman, and this isn't vintage. This is a modern reel, but I do fish with modern stuff some, and especially for bass. And I appreciate y'all watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and take a kid fishing. You have to take a kid ice fishing right now because our local river's froze solid, and I haven't seen that in probably 25 years. It's something you don't see here in the South. It's froze solid. Wouldn't want to walk on it, but it's froze all the way across, is what I mean. So anyway, y'all enjoy. Hope you're warm where you're at. It's not warm here.